Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the CKL Primetime match between the University of Tennessee and NC State Wolfpack. I am here today with OU Rumble. How are you looking forward to this match, Rumble?
I am sat. I am sat in my bed. I am watching this through and through with you, UCSD, Top Hat Bear, and I'm just looking forward to this stellar match between Tennessee and NC State. I'm just on the edge of my seat or my bed in this case.
Yeah, I also cannot look forward to this match. This match is a must-win for UTK, whereas NC State look to be set for making playoffs. However, a win here would be a statement against the rest of D3, showing them that they intend to win D3. Right now in the standings, UTK are sitting strong with a 3-2 record, whereas NC State has a 5-1 record. A win here will pretty much propel UTK into playoffs, whereas NC State are through almost no matter what. Who are you looking out for in this match today?
I really am looking forward to Ghost, but also Jay Guzzi on University of Tennessee. Ghost, of course, leading D3 in scoring with an average of 145.8, and Jay Guzzi also in the top 10. I know, especially because I am familiar with all those people via MK College and all that. Ghost and Jay Guzzi is just a power combo. Jay Guzzi being kind of a mid-pack bagging demon, while Ghost is just able to just run away with the front runs. So yeah, I'm just looking to see that happening over on UTK side. Anyone on NC State that you're looking forward to?
I mean, the obvious answer is Lyra. Lyra's been fantastic this season. He is sitting second in the Indivs table, only behind Ghost. He's been phenomenal. He was found this season by NC State. It's a great pickup, and he's just been doing magical stuff with them. The other two names I'm looking out for, Greensicle. He has some insane time trials. I've been looking through some of the stats. I believe he has a 145 on Neo Bowser City, and I believe he's got a crazy time on Shroombridge as well. So look out for Greensicle on tracks like those. The other player I'm looking out for is NCSU Jay. Jay has been trialing for pretty much every single loaded team in the
Yes,
world these past two
exactly.
weeks. He has been sharing these tables. He's got so much experience playing so many different players. I think it'll put him in a really good spot. He is one of the leaders on NC State, and I think it'll treat him well. He's ready to work with other players, and I think his experience playing with such a variety of people will help him here in this matchup.
No, no, no. I agree. I've been seeing Jay in basically any corner of MKU right now. Just like every server I'm in, Jay is there, just trialing, warring with all these teams, gaining so much more experience than just playing with one team. And especially during the offseason at MKU, that's such a valid thing to happen. I mean, yeah, it's just amazing to see all of these players, especially these players, because like I remember when Tennessee first hit the scene last season, all these players like Ghost and Jared and everything, like who are these guys? Are they going to make a difference in D2? And you just see the development that they had, of course, after they joined MKC with you, Top Hat Bear, and everything, just seeing that insane development. I just can't wait to see that with the UTK people and the NC State people. You know, Jay, Greensicle Prism, It's a Me, all of those people, and of course Lyra.
Hold up just a minute. From the chat, if things are correct, our host LeBob is saying It's a Me is not going to be able to make the match. However, J2 will be playing the match. I am unfamiliar with who J2 is. Do you know J2?
Uh, let's see. J2, this might be a new breakout player or something like that. You never know.
Never mind. It is a joke from LeBob. I am getting baited by chat. I'm very good at that.
I was
It's
I
a
was I was
classic.
in on the bit.
Ah.
Yes, I got to see LeBob's message first. Anyways, I mean, what do you think what do you think is going to be the deal breaker? Like, of course, NC State has the better record and everything like that. So what can UTK do, Top Hat, to just make it a much more level playing field and all of that?
I think UTK need to play the shot game. I think NC State has a lot of very, very fast players, and I think some of the UTK players can keep up. However, if they do get hit out, they are going to rely on shock. And if their players in the back, heck, even Ghost and Jared can pull shock. If they can pull shot, get it into good positions, I think UTK can win this match. And I actually think they are going to take this match. I'm a little bit biased. As you said, Ghost and Jared were my teammates in the past 2 seasons. They are phenomenal. They both played in MKU finals. They recently won MKU D15. I think if they
Yeah.
can win MKU D15, I think they can beat NC State. So I'm going UTK for this matchup.
No, that's solid reasoning. I'm actually going to be splitting the casting predictions here. I think NC State's going to take it. I mean, I played a 4v4 match yesterday actually against Lyra, Jay, Prism, and Green, and they were rough. They were tough. It was well fought and everything like that. And I got to see exactly firsthand what makes this team the top team in D3 right now. So it's just I think NC State's got the depth, got the brawn and the teamwork composition ready to take on this UTK lineup, which is very scary by all means.
I could absolutely see that. I think NC State, obviously, I believe they're first in the division. They're first in the division for a reason. I think it's really going to depend on players like Greensicle and Jay. They are very fast, but they're not always the most consistent. So I think it depends on them showing up today. If we see them
Yes.
putting in their lines, if we see them making minimal mistakes, I think NC State can absolutely take this. However, I'm still sticking with UTK. I think Ghost and Jared, I think the might of them two working together, those two having experience playing together on MKU teams, will take them over the line.
All right, and we see the first huge prac picks. It seems like Seven Bow is being chosen from UTK side. Seven Bow starting out. I think UT has like a top 6 going on starting out. So we'll see how this is going to happen as we get to see Greensicle's POV with the Scooty. We see Scooty's biddies. It seems like red is for NC State and orange is for UTK.
Yes, we do. And we see UTK starting off with a top 5, potential top 6. This track is really good for starting first. There's not a single shroom shortcut on this track, so having a shroom will only save you 0.3 of a second that just using it will give you. So if UTK can break away early, there are very little coins on this track, and they can just extend their lead more and more as we see them starting off with a 1-2-5 as we get to the Spiral of Death. This spiral is very important as you can get knocked off easily. However, it looks like the front runners have made it out. We see Jay Guzzy being trailed behind by 2 NC State players. Over to you, Rumble.
It seems like Prism's also up here and Lyra, so it's kind of split. We'll see if Ghost gets the trail, and he does get that trail off of there, giving some space, and see if him and Jay Guzzy can take care of Prism up here to secure a Tennessee top 2.
Something important to note on this track, there are very, very few item sets. After we go through this set here, there is one somewhat of a set, followed by one other kind of a set near the end. So there's only 2 more chances for teams to pull items to hit out Ghost and Jared. Otherwise, they will begin to run away with this. There are very little coins on this track. Ghost has 7 coins. I assume Jared has 10 coins in the front, so they definitely have the pace advantage over the players behind them, and they're beginning to break away in top 2, getting some distance behind.
It does seem like that. It does also seem that there's a lot of red behind them. It seems like NC State is taking up a lot of those spaces, and as you can see, the UTK on the minimap there is kind of behind, besides, of course, Ghost and Jay Guzzy, as we see here. Ghost opts to go for the double glider here. I don't know if he meant to do that, but he gets the double item, probably going to get some defense to make sure that Jared can go ahead and secure this first, but no defense is found.
Yes, it looks like a lot of red Yoshis are behind the top 2 of Ghost and Jay Guzzy. Is it possible that one of the orange Yoshis back is holding blue for Jared, as he has been interrupted in his run today? While it does seem like they're crossing top 2, this looks like a 3-8 from NC State, which will be a race win from them if things stay as we cross the line.
Yeah, it seems like that. We'll see once the final spots are shown. And I don't know who JB is for, but that is a
JB
that's
is
a
an NCSU player.
Yeah, that's a UTK bottom 4 with the top 2 though, which means it will be a positive race.
I believe that's a +16 if memory serves correctly. So this is a fantastic start for NC State. Let's see what they go with for map 2 as Greensicle is hovering Baby Park.
Hovering Baby Park race 2. Oh no. I guess they saw that dominant top 2 run. Oh, nope. It seems like we're going to switch around. But, I mean, we saw race 1 that NCSU depth showing off full swing. Yes, Ghost and Jared got that top two break and everything like that. But filling up 3-8, securing that bottom 4 for UTK, and that's just going to give him, as we see here, I think that's a +8 for the Wolfpack.
I really like this pick coming out here from UTK. We see Yoshi Island, which is one of the rarest tracks in competitive Mario Kart. Even though NC State has a lot of grinders, such as Lyra, such as Jay, such as Green, it's not a track that you see often, so a lot of players will just not have played it. So if UTK practice it, they will get a huge advantage. However, they get the pick, but it is their sixth player who picks random. However, I do know that Ghost especially loves this track and he is starting too. So look out for Ghost on Ninja Hideaway.
Yeah, we'll probably see Ghost go for a Nisk if he doesn't pull the Shroom here, which is going to be some nice tech to see, which is just pivotal for keeping top spots here on Ninja Hideaway.
Lap
We
one,
see,
I
yeah.
expect players to go for coins. Coins are so important on this track. As we see Ghost
Yeah.
getting the coins up top, Lyra does go for the Nisk. However, Ghost has a red behind them. And Lyra pulls a first place coin as Ghost takes the lead. He is coined up. He gets 3 more coins right here, and he's starting to run with it looks like Jay behind him, with Ghost
Uh-oh.
pulling a double right here. As we see the end of the lap, this section is super technical. There's a lot of tricks to do. However, Ghost masterfully navigates his way through and keeps his lead. And here we go. This might be the Nisk that you were talking about, Rumble. As we see, let's lock in. Let's
Yes.
follow Ghost for this.
Yeah, just coming up here on the top section, you're gonna see Ghost probably drift up here. Yes, here it is. Bonk off the wall, and oh no! Bonk's a little bit too far to the left there, and as you can see, pays the price for that costly mistake, loses first. But it seems like his teammate was able to regain the first for him.
Yes, right there, Ghost went for the faster version of the Nisk. Not the very fastest, but not the safe one he actually taught me a week ago, which is surprising to see because he was telling me how much better the safe version is. And he's not going for it himself, and he's suffering the price. As we see Jay pulling triple reds in second, we start to throw them at Jared. We see Jared get hit. We see Jared getting hit again. Now we have to
And
see.
the blues out
Ghost is
too.
getting blued, however, he has a Shroom to defend. Let's see, what does he do the safe Nisk? He does do the safe Nisk on lap 3. He has learned his lesson. He gets it perfectly.
There it is. We'll see. That might... Oh, the shock comes out here. It seems like an NCSU shock, as I think 2 players of them dodged. We'll see if that changes anything. It still seems like UTK has the top 2, and it seems like there's a lot more orange in the mid-pack compared to the last race. We'll see if a Ghost is able to keep this first here. And it doesn't seem like anything's going on.
Yes, that shock
Yeah.
barely affected UTK as they were all in the glider. Nisk was already open, so they didn't have to worry about slowing down and failing Nisk, which might have been a little bit too little, a little bit too late from NCSU as they're struggling to catch. We do see a UTK player at last, but it's looking like of the top 6, 4 of them possibly are UTK players, which will be a huge race for them.
Yeah, that might even things out here. As UTK does get last, we see Greensicle cross at 11. NCSU does get 3 through 6, but that's still... The 3 through 6 is not big enough to overturn that UTK top 2, if I remember correctly.
It is a fantastic salvage. However, it does seem like NC State's plan going into this match. They're letting Jared and Ghost do what they want, but even if Jared and Ghost get top 2 every single race, they can't win the match alone. NC State are doing a fantastic job at shutting down the rest of the UTK players, and if we want to see UTK begin to make their way more into this match, we need to see the rest of their players come alive.
Yeah, that is just a +2 race for the Wolfpack here. We do see, once again, Greensicle's hovering over Baby Park, just kind of jump scaring all of us watching this. But they do go for the Athens Dash here, which I think is a marvelous pick for these spots. This track basically, unless the top 2 know Nisk, grab a Shroom, take the Shroom cut, and you're running for the rest of the race, hypothetically speaking, of course.
I mean, the Nisk isn't even that powerful.
Yeah.
Shrooming up is just so much better, and you can never pull a Shroom in 1. We'll have to see if Jared can pull a Shroom in 2, as that will do fantastic work for him. If not, it's looking like NC State, if they can survive the mid-pack bumps, can Shroom up and get into a lot of the top spots.
Yeah, we see here both Jared and Ghost on 27 after 2. We'll see if they're able to keep up this top 2 just locked in right now for UTK, as we see the beginning section, which is one of the most fun beginning sections, in my opinion, on a course.
Oh, I totally agree with that. We see these ramps, it's super easy to get bumped off here. However, both UTK top players are playing Teddy Buggy, meaning they have a lot more weight than the NC State players. As Ghost retains his lead, he's going wide for coins. He is coined up. If he trails a Nisk, he could get one of them out. He actually goes wide of the Nisk. He allows Lyra in the front, hoping to pull reds here to hit Lyra out. He only pulls one box. Can he go for the Nana Snipe here? Can he horn Lyra out with the coin advantage? And he does, taking the lead of the race. However, we do not know who's behind him quite yet.
Yeah, it last time he looked behind him. It was a slew of just red behind him. We'll see if he's able to survive. Bomb goes off again. We see Greensicle come in the back. Comebacks on this track are able to happen as we see the Shroom already back up into 6. It seems like it's just Ghost up there, and it's just a bunch of NCSU behind him. I think the entire team's behind Ghost right now.
This is a really, really scary position to be in because on lap 3 there are only 2 item sets, and one of them is incredibly late into the lap. Meaning if you get hit, or incredibly early into the lap, and there is nothing else after it. So if you get hit, you just get comboed, and you keep dying, keep getting hit again and again and again. So hopefully Ghost in the front can pull double defense to prevent. He does have a horn in case a blue shell comes. However, that can only break 1, maybe 2 red shells. He decides to keep the horn hidden. He's not risky going for double defense. While a Ghost cannot ruin his race, if 2 reds are pulled behind him, that certainly can. As we see the first red coming for Ghost, he horns it away.
Blue
the
is
blue
out.
is now coming. Might be able to reach the line in time. There is another red. This is not looking good for Ghost. He wall dodges. He breaks it. Can he beat the blue?
He can beat the blue.
What a performance from Ghost. However, it looks like there is a lot of UTK players in the back. So the one has salvaged quite a bit, but this looks like a good race for NC State. However, they are getting taken out a little bit. I see UTK BRD in 6th. 1-6 is an okay race. 1-5-6. I believe that is a small loss for UTK as NC State furthers their lead a tiny bit more.
Yeah, this has been interesting, these first 3 races. We get to see UTK has gotten first all 3 races and actually top 2 in the first 2 races. But the difference is only it seems like that was just an even race that just occurred right there. So yeah, we're still just only 6-point difference between the 2 teams. Or is that
we have a 12-point difference.
Is that is a 12-point difference. That must have been a lot better race for NC State than I realized. I mean, that's true because the top 2 didn't happen, right?
Yes. 2-3-4 was very, very nice for them. 2-3-4 and UTK getting 10 and 12 really, really hurts the points for UTK. So NC State getting a 12-point lead. However, in Mario Kart, that is not much. 12 points can be turned over at the blink of an eye. The magic number to be looking for is 40 points. Having a 40-point lead means that in one race you cannot be surpassed. You could get top 6 and you still retain your lead. So NC State will be pushing to see if they can get that 40-point lead as they pick Amsterdam Drift, which is one of the game's most infamous anti-1s. There's a glider at the very beginning right after a set. If first pulls a coin, second pulls a red, second reds them off the glider, they're just sinking right down to the bottom of the canals, and they gotta get picked up by Lakitu, and they lose all their time. So let's see what Ghost can do. Can he somehow manage to pull another wall dodge out of nowhere? Somehow in midair? I doubt it. Let's see what happens.
He does pull defense, but his teammate is a little close by already, so he's probably not going to trail this. We switch to Greensicle's point of view.
Yes, let's see what's going on in the mid-pack. Chaos will often happen here. If triple nanas are pulled, people are dying. As we see Jay Guzzy getting a trail out. We see UTK sitting 1-3 right now. However, it is 1-4 as we swap back to Ghost. Ghost actually going to the left of the booster, ignoring the coins to stay safe so he doesn't get trailed. We actually see Jay Guzzy in 2. This is looking really, really good for UTK as we head into the sewers. This part is really technical. It's easy to make errors here. As we see Ghost miss the trick, Prism takes over. However, Ghost is trailing. Prism is scared. Ghost gets the high trick, losing more time to Prism. Where is Prism? I think he's backing off due to Ghost trail. Having double defense in 1 is such a blessing as it allows you to play aggressive but also be ready for potential red shells.
Exactly. Let's see if Prism's still in 2, or UTK has the top 2 secured again, as we've seen throughout this war so far. It seems like Prism is gone, or else Ghost wouldn't chained that. Yeah, that's a UTK top 2 as we're going into the final lap here. We're about to go back into the underwater again, but then emerge onto a great field of, I believe it's tulips.
I could be blind, but is that Jay Guzzy with a horn in 2? I
I
believe in
is
the back camera, it looked like it,
Yeah.
which is fantastic to protect against a potential blue. With double defense in one, a blue or a shock is the only thing that can hurt Ghost right now. After
Yep.
Jared passes the box, that is when shock will most likely come. If it does not come now, shock is not in play. As we
The
see
blue
blue
comes
being
out.
thrown, we see Ghost cross the line in one. Jared in two. This is looking like another fantastic performance from the top two of UTK. However, I see 3, 4, and more for NC State as they look to get another fine race behind the top two.
Wait a minute. Does green actually be able to pass? But that trailed red is not going to allow. Yeah, Jake Izzy is able to get the second here. Green with the nice free. But yeah, once again we see. I think that's the second straight race where a blue has been held by a University of Tennessee teammate. Which just allows Ghost and Jake Izzy to get a top two again. 3 out of 4 races have been top two for University of Tennessee.
Yeah, we've seen very, very few blue pulls from NC State as UTK claw back a couple points on Amsterdam. That is a +4 race for them. As after the first GP, we have an 8-point game, which is fantastic to see.
Yes, this game, I mean, it seems like neither team is changing up their strategy too much. So this game is probably going to go down to the wire. We're probably going to see a lot more top twos or and a lot more like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7s from NC State unless a team decides to switch up the strategy.
I agree with that. However, I do think the war could be a little more volatile than we think. With UTK dominating the bottom 4 spots, a shock could transform their races. They have not pulled
True.
yet. However, a shock pull would really help. Whereas NC State have not pulled blue in time for it to hit a UTK player. If they can pull a blue instead of UTK pulling it, they could get the first. And having a first would do massive damage to UTK. As we see, starting on Romavanti, this track has 2 massive shroom shortcuts at the beginning. UTK Ghost pulls a shroom. Whoever shrooms up is in one will lead this race as we see Ghost and Panda now shrooming up. Panda getting
Yes.
involved in the action. This is so good to see. Let's see
Yeah.
Ghost leaving the coins behind as we see Green shrooming up into one. It is very hard to break one on Rome due to lack of coins. Whoever is in one will get first access to the coins and they will just start to break away more and more. Will Green go for the double? He does. Green goes for the double, so he guarantees defense, so Ghost cannot take him out with a single red shell here.
Ghost here, I believe NCSU is behind Ghost here, so Ghost is probably going to have to be cautious about getting rid of the Nanas. Froze the Nana backwards, and it does seem to hit someone. Trying to be very aggressive here, trying to get Green out of first here, because, I mean,
Watch the smart
UTK...
bounce. Watch the smart bounce. Watch the smart bounce,
Margaret?
Ghost.
Oh! Ooh!
That's
That was
close.
too close. Another Green throwing forward. He's playing a dangerous game here, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Red
love what
after
he's doing
set.
because he knows he needs to get one. If NCSU get one, they're in a fantastic position. However, that is a rough pull to have for Ghost. However, it does look like his teammate is behind him, so he can hold this shroom all the way until cut. And Green is getting blued right now. Another blue shell pull from UTK. They're doing
Here we go.
fantastic at occupying the bottom spots and making sure that they are the ones to pull blue. So we see Ghost now taking the shroom up. There will be no other blues this race. Ghost is safe to use his shroom. We see Ghost in one. We see Jared in two. As we have every single race, we see him get redded. We see a 1-2 still. And we see UTK in 4 and 5 as well. This could be a fantastic race for them.
Yeah, I think top 3 or top 4, which is absolutely gone. That is a great race for University of Tennessee. Bottom 3 for NCSU. This is war changing right here. Tennessee's definitely going to take the lead, and yeah, here it is.
UTK takes the lead for the first time this match on NC State's track pick 2. NC State have to go back to the drawing board. The drafters aren't working. The shroomers aren't working. What track can you pick to take out Ghost and Jared when they're playing this strong right now?
Exactly. I mean, at this point, I think going for some sort of reset track, like a DK Summit, Mushroom Gorge, would be very beneficial for NC State here. Just a track that has like concentrated chaos, but you see another Shroomer comes out here, especially for that bottom 3 that NC State has here in Coconut Mall.
We see a Shroomer and we see a more technical Shroomer coming out. Coconut Mall is very hard to drive. We'll have to see if Ghost and Jared are ready to take on the challenge that the
Exactly.
mall provides. This could be a masterclass pick from NC State here if they want to get back into the match. And as we
Yeah,
see on this track, the first set is so important. It is so hard to get a box here because there are so few, and you only want to take the ones in the green escalator. But the shroom up cut at the beginning is so strong, and whoever takes it and is one after the shroom up will be the one leading the race.
Yep, we see a green throne already and a trail going off on Ghost. That's actually really big. I think this is the first time that Ghost has been hit out in the first lap in a lot, like this war that from what we've seen.
This is the first time we see it. However, it does look like he's continuing to run. No, he is bagging out. On this track, there's a broken bill extension. If you pop your
Yes.
bullet bill in the cut, it will take you all the way up until where Ghost is now pretty much. And there's also a awesome motion glider strat at the end. It'll be awesome if we see it. We see another UTK blue pull. They're controlling the blues at the moment.
Yeah, this is, I believe that's Lyra in first up there. Lyra's going to be able, yeah, gets blued, allows that UTK in 2-3 to be closer to him, and I think overtake him as well. As we see a Ghost also trying to make his comeback a little bit, starting through the shortcut, getting the shroom, probably going to chain. We'll see if he goes to the top half this time.
We will. The top path has more coins. It is a little more safe because the glider will protect you from being hit. You lose less time. However, the bottom path is faster. It is more risky, as we see doing smart bounce on the bottom path and missing a box. We see NC State member with a bomb right next to him. If they want to make a play, they can just sacrifice to try and take out Ghost. Even if you get one of your teammates, if you get Ghost with that bomb, you're shutting down the target. It makes it so hard for the rest of their team.
This fire pull seems to be very lucrative here. Taking out Jay, but Lyra is also here taking the shroom cut. Backs the red at Ghost. Very aggressive play there. And Ghost pulls a second place coin. Very unfortunate. Nana tight as well. Wow. Lyra wants Ghost out of second. Wants that big race to counter the Tennessee's Rome race. As we go to the final stretch, Nana and Coin's probably not going to do it to hit Lyra out here, as Ghost is probably just going to have to acquiesce a second.
Yes, we see Ghost backing on the line. However, this looks like a 1-3-4 for NC State, which should swap the flow of the match right back into their favor. In fact, we might have a tied match here after 6, which is just
Yes.
fantastic to see.
Yeah, I believe that's going to make it really, really close with that 1-3-4 and a couple of bottom spots taken from Tennessee. And your prediction was on the spot, Top Hat. We are tied after the first half. Oh boy.
Can I confess something? I can
Yeah.
see the warbot in the UTK server.
Oh. Wow. Wow.
I knew it was going to be a tied match. However, a tied match after 6 is so good to see. It shows both teams are here to play. Neither team is running away with it, which is amazing. I'm hoping the viewers are enjoying this as much as we are.
Yes, I am glad to see NC State be able to bounce back after the first kind of big race that we've seen so far in that Rome race from Tennessee, being able to punch right back with that beautifully played Coconut Mall. So, and we see DK Jungle come out here for the 1-3-4, which I mean, yes, of course, we love it over here at OU. So
This is a fantastic track for 1-3-4. Second will struggle to get through the super rounds without being bumped. I know MK College has had a lot of issues with this track, which is the team that both Ghost and Jared were on the past 2 seasons. So let's see if they can overcome the DK Jungle woes and make something out of this race. Or will NC State get another good race? So we see Ghost insta-spam his red into Lyra's defense, and Ghost is missing the super bounce and falling off the map. Like I predicted, this map is hard for MK College players. I don't know what it is. However, the rest of UTK seems to have made their way up the pack. I see a lot of orange Yoshis in the front, which is fantastic signs to see. This track is an amazing runner as there is only one cut. There's a lot of awesome tech on this track, as we saw at the start where Ghost failed. There's a super bounce, which gives you a lot of time if you can hit it successfully. And there's also the ramp strats after the first glider, which we saw Ghost execute to perfection as he's making his way through the pack, already up to 6 after that first lap plunder. So we see fire being thrown and players getting hit out. Seems like NC State is controlling the fire. NC State are 2, 3, 4, while UTK are in 1 and 5. Let's see, can Ghost make something happen right here in third?
Ghost was able to hit that super bounce that time. I believe it was because he went for a more safer version of the super bounce than what he tried to do lap 1.
Ghost goes for the ramp strats. As I was talking about earlier, The ramp strats save time, however, they can be failed pretty easily, and as
Exactly.
we see, Ghost fails them again. It does look like the UTK player in first has a strong break, and NCSU will need to pull their first blue of the match if they want to break that.
Exactly. I believe, yeah, I mean, I think that might be Jared up there in first. But it seems like NCSU is a lot closer now to the first place, and I believe, yeah, NCSU is now in first as we see Ghost try to come back here. Probably going to take advantage of that shroom cut, the only cut in DK Jungle as well. He's back up to 6.
And we saw UTK were holding blue for Jared. We see a shot coming out from NC State. Ghost gets shocked into the cut. It does not look like there are many dodges. However, a neutral shock is very good for NCSU at this point because it stops Ghost charge up fours into the pack. It's looking like NC State are top 3 at the moment. UTK, the 3 spots behind them, as Jay looks to hit out players in the pack. Ghost goes into a Ghost, and let's see what he can do at the end. We see NC State players just passing him one after another. This is not a good race for UTK.
Yeah, this is a big race for NCSU. We'll see exactly what top spots. That is a 1-3 through 5. Yeah, that's going to be a big race for the Wolfpack here, as we got to see Ghost actually struggle a little bit there, struggle to make the comeback and all of that. And you predicted it because you've been teammates with Ghost for a while, so.
Yes, it's very unfortunate to see. DK Jungle is not a track I like it very much. There's a lot of tech on it, but it is so easy to get bumped out of all the tech. As we see NC State now with a 14-point lead, which I believe is the biggest lead we've seen this match so far.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's
So,
crazy to say.
yeah, 14 points being the greatest lead is pretty not normal. um, but we see Yoshi Circuit come out for Tennessee. Makes sense because of the lower spots that they have, and we are going to it. It seems like we got to see our first. I think this is our first bagging track of the match.
It does, yes, this is the first bagger of the match. It'll be interesting to see what happens. This track, you can run to some success. However, it is super strong for being in the back due to the bill extension that you pop into the waterfall at the start of each lap. Let's see. We see Ghost bagging. However, we do see what looks like to be 3 UTK players running against 3 as well from NCSU. So it'll be interesting to see how the battle at the front plans out.
We do switch to Greensicle here. Greensicle able to take the shroom.
Did Lyra just attempt the miss? I'm sorry. Did he just? That's like
that's so good. That's so gutsy. From
That's
what
amazing.
I've seen so far, that Lyra is like one of the gutsiest players I've ever seen, especially with that play on Coconut Mall. Greensicle is able to just keep this front run, keep this first with that shroom at the beginning. We'll see how this pans out, because Shock and Bills can definitely change the favor of the match. And we see Shock already being out by Ghost here. We'll see how Tennessee is able to play with it and everything. Ghost is pretty far back.
That's awesome for UTK. However, most of their players are pretty far forwards. They might not have dodges yet. Ghost is holding this a very long time. With how far back Jay is next to Ghost, it is very possible he can pull Shock and shock it out of Ghost's hands. UTK need to rip this soon. As we see NCSU pull Shock and shock it out of Ghost's hands. Every other UTK player was trying to run, and not a single one of them went for dodge, rendering their shock useless.
Yeah, a bill here is a lifesaver here for Ghost, as we are probably going to be able to see the bill cut being here. And Greensicle has a dominating first place right now, away from the pack, so far away and all that, so...
I think Ghost just needs to rip Bill now. Like, saving for the extension, he's still going to be so far behind. Like, yes, the extension is broken. However, there is another extension on the frills in the back of Yoshi's head that is almost as good. We don't see it as much because it's obviously worse, but it's still a 10-second bill extension would get Ghost back into the pack. However, he is in his bill now. We see what looks to be an NC State player with a bill in 2, which is insane.
No, that's a Tennessee player.
UTK player. However, the shock
out of
comes, the second shock for NC State. The moment the UTK player's out of bill. However, the Ghost still dodged in his bill. We see him coming up in another bill at the end. UTK with 3, 4, 5, 6, it seems, which should be a decent race for them. Probably pretty even.
Oh,
3 through 7, 9 should be a gain.
That's such an interesting race, because we get to see UTK kind of flipped the script a little bit and take the spots behind an NC State top two, and it's evened it out a little bit more. That was still only, that's surprising. That was only a -6 for
That
NC
race
State.
felt so one-sided watching, and
Yeah,
yet UTK still won the race. That was a fantastic salvage
yeah.
at the end. Maybe that was their shock at the end. Maybe they spammed it. They unfortunately missed their player in Bill. However,
I believe that's what happened.
the shock still benefited them massively.
Wow. That was a wild Yoshi Circuit race, but I mean, that's Yoshi Circuit, and if Shroom Ridge is picked here, we're going to see another wild race, most likely,
Yes,
in my
this is the
opinion.
track I was talking about in the pre-match. Greensicle has an insane time on this track. I believe he's 3 seconds faster than me here.
Oh wow.
It's just insane. I remember looking at it and being like, how is this guy D3? So he's
Yeah.
starting one. Let's see what he can do on this track. NCSU also have an inward drift player. This track is very, very nice for inwards due to the long corners, like turn one and then through the tunnel in the later half of the track.
Yep. I will definitely get to see if Greensicle can show off the time trialing prowess here, as I believe that pick was just because Greensicle's in one. We switched to Greensicle's perspective, and we get to see the first UMT getting the doubles and everything like that, which is just so nice for first tier because it's just guaranteed protection at the very beginning.
This track is really nice and one. There are a lot of points early. However, there is a massive shroom up here that we see the UTK players doing. We see Ghost now into one. Does he have defense in case Green pulls him off? He does have defense. There's another shroom up here. If other players have shrooms, they can shroom up. They can pass Ghost again. However, Ghost seems to be getting away to a commanding lead. Let's see if Greensicle throws the bomb forwards to go for Ghost, or will he back it to get Jared out? It looked like he moved something, but he didn't. I don't know. He must have been celebrating his dad.
There's
He
the bomb
backs
back.
the bomb. He hits his teammate, it seems, from the minimap as
Oh,
UTK are
no.
1-3. However, NCSU get their first blue pull of the match. Ghost
Oh, this is huge.
throws Nana back
No, throws the
instead
back.
of canceling. However, he takes out Greensicle. He cancels the blue on the car, and UTK turn a 1-3 into a top 2 despite getting blue, which is some magic from Ghost.
Yeah, that back from Ghost basically guarantees the top 2 for now, because that back just hits Greensicle and just allows it. And we see backs coming out again as another UT player is also here, as we currently have top 3.
We're witnessing a Ghost masterclass right now. Someone got LeBron to drive his car for him. What is going on? The UT players have a massive break at the front. They have so much space that even if the NCSU players take both cuts, they will not be able to catch up enough. The only thing that can stop this top 2 right now is a shock and a blue. If shock comes, it'll come now after UT is after the last set. However, we see no shock. We see Jared and Ghost cruising away to an easy top 2. Can their teammates get spots behind them? However, it looks like Lyra, someone in a Ghost, and Green get 3, 4, 5. UTK have bottom
and maybe
2.
a 6 as well. UTK bottom 2 also hurts. Yeah, we get to see basically the same exact race that UTK just posited on Yoshi Circuit happened to them on Shroom Ridge. So interesting.
That must be heartbreaking for UTK. They had such a good race. It looked so well. And NC State, as they do so well, capitalized on the chaos in the mid-pack and just packed them up pretty much.
Yeah.
And the UTK players didn't stand a chance. Since it was a 6v4 in the mid-pack, NC State had the advantage, and they used that advantage to good use.
I mean, what we're witnessing here is just a classic just out-depthing that's happening in these specific races. I mean, we've seen in the Rome race and in more frequently in the Yoshi Circuit race, UTK also out-depthing the Wolfpack, but I mean, we'll see what happens on the Hyrule Circuit.
I'm excited to see Hyrule. I have been watching UTK pick this all match long, and they finally get it now. This must be one of their specialty tracks. I can't wait to see what they can do here. The gap is back up to 12 points with, I believe, 3 races to go. So let's see what UTK can do to lighten the gap between the two teams as Ghost goes for the left coins in one. Clearly he watched the shortcut video about this track, how to drive it quickly. He goes for the trick too, and he gets all 3 coins afterwards.
But gets hit out by Lyra. Ooh.
That is so unfortunate on his runner. Where is Jared? He needs Jared now to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate because Hyrule Circuit is one of the textbook top 2 tracks in the 66 format. So having that top 2 just get obliterated by Lyra is just really disheartening probably to Ghost. But it's just lap 1, and there's plenty of race left, plenty of track to drive. As we see Greensicle go for the little drift off the ramp there, once again, watch the shortcut video probably.
There's plenty of track left, and there are plenty of shortcuts on this track. Despite this being a runner, there are a lot of shortcuts on this track. It's a nice runner because you can get your coins up so early in 1. The places behind 1 start with more coins than 1, so 1 getting up coins is so important, which makes this track good. As we see Ghost get hit out by a Crazy 8, he isn't back. We see a UT bottom 3, and they're going for Shock, knowing it's the only thing that can save this race for them, as they look to only have 3, 6, 7 in bottom 3 right now.
I believe that's UT Panda and 2 holding on desperately for that last top spot that UTK has. But it is a 1-3-4 right now for NCSU. We'll see what if Tennessee is able to pull Shock, because that seems like the only thing that can do it. Actually, it seems like Panda is now in first. Look at that. Bomb up as well.
That is amazing from Panda. Panda is clutching
Blue
when it
comes
matters
out.
most. Ghost has Shock in pocket. It's hidden. I think they're going to cancel Blue on the teammate. Watch out. 3, 2, 1. Yep. Shock. There we go. No one dodges apart from a Bill and Ghost, who used the Shock. However, this is fantastic for them. They got every single player after set. Is that another Shock that Brad is holding? Or is that a star? I can't see due to how blurry the screen is. We see fire in the mid-pack. Lyra's getting redded out by Panda.
That is another Shock.
At the end? Why did we not see the second Shock ripped?
That's so interesting. Wow, that is a 2-5 for NCSU. Oh no. Panda was able to get first. Shout out to them.
Panda clutched when it mattered most for his team. We have 2 races to go, and NC State are starting to break away. They have a 24-point lead. If NC State can get a plus 16 or better on this next race, they will win the war before it is even over. As we see them picking... No, this is UTK Ghost thinking about what to pick. They pick Toad Harbor for Panda in 1. Panda must be very strong on this track. I'm so excited to see how he gets along on Toad Harbor if it gets picked.
Yeah. Let's talk about that second Shock.
Yes. The second Shock, I believe he had it after his Bill. I think the smart play should have been to just rip it while Ghost was still in his Ghost. As funny as that sounds. Because he would be able to just dodge again and get guaranteed first. However, we don't see that happening, which is a little bit confusing to see. And we see NC State picking Neo Bowser City. I said this before, Greensicle has an insane time on this track. Lyra also has an insane time on it. However, it doesn't get picked. UTK get their pick, which they might need if they want to make their way back into the match. They have 24 points to make up with 2 races to go.
Now, as you said earlier, 40 is the magic number. And so 24 can definitely get made up in 2 races. It's going to be interesting to see how UTK is able to play Toad Harbor, which is also not that common of a track in the 6v6 format.
No, Toad Harbor is not seen very often. It is seen occasionally by low div teams. So Ghost and Jared might have experience playing this from low div teams. As we see Ghost getting a red out. Panda and Ghost are top 2. Ghost is going for the double so he can defend Panda and let Panda just break away on this track and do what he does best. Yeah,
a great play by Ghost there, just ripping the red, securing the UT top 2. We'll see if any players behind, because the problem is when you're getting top 2 but nothing else, the point differential is not going to be that great, and they do need at least to average a plus 12 per race for the rest of this.
You see a top 3 coming out. However, Panda is still trailing. Panda has been trailing the entire lap, and he eventually gets punished for his hubris by taking out Ghost, who then gets comboed by a plant. We see Lyra slowing down, potentially plant Ghost again. However, Ghost avoids the plant. Never mind, Lyra's done it again. Lyra knows what their win condition is. Lyra just has a bullseye on Ghost right now and is not holding back.
Yeah, we get to see here kind of a little bit more strategical playing here in the 6v6 format, especially because Ghost has been the strongest player in the lobby so far, targeting him and making sure he's not there to support this top 2, and making sure that NCSU might be able. They're both holding horns in 3-4. Probably needs to get more red shells to break that top 2, or maybe
This is a fantastic position for UTK to be in right now. They have top two. Their top two's broken away, and they have players in the back pulling dodges, ready for the chaos of lap 3. NC State going to Ghost Wheel Shot come right now. I don't see it. They might be trying to
Mm-mm.
coordinate Reds onto the player in second, which I believe is Arms. Ghost gets a star off on Green Skull. We see UTK making their way up the pack. Here comes the late lap 3 charge, and UTK have the better items for this as they've been collecting dodges in the mid pack. As we see Jared get greened out by a smart bounce. However, this is a 1-4 now. 1-5 only for UTK. What
But
happened to their two
the triple
runners?
reds. Yeah. It seems like
However,
yeah. Go ahead.
this is a 1-4-5. However, they get 9, 11, 12, meaning it will be a slight race loss. We're going to need something huge from UTK here on the final
Yes.
race. I think they just need to pick whichever track they're best at here. That's the only way I can see them winning, as it looks like a 28-point deficit that they have to make up.
Ghost almost leads the lobby. We get to see there. That was kind of scary. Yeah, that race was so interesting because UTK had the top two the entire time. But then I believe NCSU was able to break it, and then Ghost was able to come up, and yeah, and it just ended up being what, a 1-4, 1-5.
Yes,
So
this point total right now is a really interesting point total to be in. There's 28 points the difference. If one of the NC State players gets first and no other spots, it's only a -22. If an NC State player gets second and bottom 5, it is a -28. So UTK need better than 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if they want to win this war here.
interesting. And Royal Raceway comes out. Royal, I believe this is an NC State track pick, is a very shock reliant track because of that last set. We're gonna see shock might make or break the war for UTK here or NC State.
Yes, this track, while not quite a hard bagger, has some amazing cuts on it. Shock is very powerful to prevent the opponents from taking cuts, as we see Ghost not reacting in time to the red, not getting his trail out. I think we'll see him drop back and go for Shock a little bit more as NC State have a top two. Remember that only the best of best races is acceptable for UTK here. There is no point in Ghost just getting in one and sitting there, because if his teammates aren't up there too, it won't matter. So he needs to go for Shock. His entire team needs to pull Shock. They need to make something massive happen here if they want to win this war.
Especially because it seems like an NC State top 4 going on here. NC State is just full on running Royal Raceway here, believing that UTK doesn't have what it takes to pull the shock and flip the script on them. We'll see how this turns out, but this is a very dominating run so far by NC State.
This is fantastic. It seems like Green Skull is slowing down so he can horn out the UTK players. However, he does get hit by a Nana. He's locked in a hit stun, and he can't get the horn out. He now has a dodge in 7. He's going to carry this up. They have a teammate in the back scouting. Green Skull is forced into his dodge. This is perfect for UTK. They're holding Shock. They forced the dodge. They need their players to get dodges right now in the mid pack. If all their players can dodge, this is how they win the war. Ghost uses Shock. Not enough dodge. I don't think that's enough. I have faith in Ghost catching up. However, I don't think enough of NC State have been harmed. Everyone was shocked after set, so UTK does not have the items to hit them out quite yet, as we see the top 3 continue for NC State.
Yeah, I was looking at the mini-map through all of that. Blue was thrown, and it hit a Tennessee player that just had overtaken first there. So that was very unfortunate for Tennessee here.
That's
Ghost
tragic.
is just full going on, trying to hit as many NCSU players as he's trying
it's
to
not
make
enough.
a comeback.
Just one first or second place is enough for NC State right now. Ghost needs to somehow hit out both these players, but as we see the NC State player cross the line, that is the war done and dusted. It's been a valiant effort from UTK. They brought it all the way to race 12. However, the division leaders, NC State, take the match.
Top 2. You just said it before. NC State needs to get at least first or second to keep it from a tie or a win. So just, man. Great.
NC State were fantastic this match. As we see their players, we see a player on 109, 105, 93, 90. Despite Lyra being lauded as the hard carry for the team, he decided to play the team game today. He just sat in the pack. He helped support his teammates, and it paid off massively, with NC State winning the matchup by 38 points.
Wow. Good war to both teams. That was some great Mario Kart. That was some great Mario Kart to see.
That was fantastic to see, and the best part is it's not the last Mario Kart we see tonight. We do have another match after this. I believe we have Kutztown Inside Lane versus University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, if I remember correctly, which should be a fantastic match to watch. We have UWM led by Shadow from Dark Matter. She plays inside. She's fantastic at the game. She's been improving so much recently. However, we have Kutztown Inside Lane led by Sunset, also an inside drift player, and who has also had a crazy improvement arc recently, so that should be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I've been keeping close info on Division 5, and this matchup, the first time that they played, was only a +10 in UWM's favor. So this is going to be a very close match, in my opinion. I just can't wait to see it. And also, it's enough is already said about it. Great race from both teams, NC State Wolfpack and the University of Tennessee. We got to see some great Mario Kart. Ghost just blowing away the competition on some races, and NC State they call it a Wolfpack for a reason, BKL. They call it for a Wolfpack for a reason, and we got to see that on full display, just ravaging the mid-pack, making sure they get that 2, 3, 4, 5 behind the front presence of Tennessee.
Yeah, we see NC State moving to a 6-1 record. Playoffs should be virtually guaranteed for them. It would take some astronomically unlikely events for them to miss out on playoffs. UTK moved to a 3-3 record. They're not out yet. They've not qualified for playoffs yet. However, I think if they continue to play like that for the rest of the season, for their final 4 matches, I think playoffs are very easily in touching distance for them.
I agree.
All right, and I think that is all for this match tonight. We're going to take a break before we get into the next match. Please don't go anywhere. This next match should be a banger.
Yes, 100% agree. Yeah, goodbye, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for watching.